Women's suffrage was a long, hard battle for women's right to vote. Truly beginning in 1848 and lasting until 1920, suffrage is barely over 100 years old, which is really not that long ago. Thousands of named and unnamed women fought for their voices to be heard and represented in our nation. It all began in 1848 with the first ever Women's Rights Convention at Seneca Falls, which was spearheaded by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. This two-day meeting laid the groundwork for women's suffrage and brought to light how unfair society was to its women. The Declaration of Sentiments blanketed all parts of culture, including politics, family, education, religion, and job opportunities. Due to the similarities in their respective goals, many suffragettes and abolitionists spoke together at the following conventions, rallies, and protests. One woman who captures the message of nearly every movement of the time is Sojourner Truth, who escaped slavery and went on to be a face of abolition, temperance, and women's rights. She famously delivered her Ain't I a Woman speech in 1851 at a women's convention in Ohio. These attention-raising events continued for years, and in 1916, Alice Paul and others formed the National Women's Party, which was a more militant sub-party of the National American Women's Suffrage Association. Some of the party's tactics included nonviolent protests, like picketing the White House and hunger strikes that aimed to put pressure on President Woodrow Wilson and Congress to make a federal amendment. At one point, Alice Paul was arrested for partaking in the picketing and served 7 months, where she continued her protest in the form of a hunger strike. She and other suffragettes were violently force-fed through tubes, which caused public outrage. By 1920, President Wilson and Congress had no choice but to submit to the women of America, and the 19th Amendment was ratified, which finally gave women the right to vote. After 70 years of organization, planning, and protesting, the goal of suffrage was achieved, at least for white women. African American women had to wait until the 1965 Voting Rights Act to be able to experience the same rights, only 61 years ago. However, thanks to the thousands of people who fought to make our country what it is today, anyone can vote for what they believe in.